welcome. We're live from Xi'an, China for the World Cyber Games 2019.
No, nice. They're on the cliff! Onto the cliff! In the meanwhile, we've got Trace hiding in the back. He's going to be able to pick up the double kill.
Lich in trouble, he comes to Storm on, no, Carly was used defensively, trying to save the goal!
Oh no, they're not going to be able to do it!
Look at that! He's going to end the game on the corner, and we see on the core, and that's going to be game!
Hello everyone and welcome back to the World Cyber Games 2019 for CrossFire. It's all said and done for the grand final, but we've still got the third place playoff yet to go, and I think this could be going all the way here. I am Lethal, I'm joined by ZZ XQ, and we've got one last match of the event to get done and dusted.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an incredible match. We've got two very strong teams with two very different play styles going head-to-head for what's still a very key match for both of these teams. One will walk away with $20,000. The other team going to walk away with nothing, so definitely a huge match for both of these teams to prove that they can still get in that medal position in that third place spot. So I'm definitely expecting this one to go to distance, as you said.
And as you saw it over the prize pool, whoever comes out on top in this match will take that $20,000. And this is the bracket here. As you saw, both semi-finals went in the way of Super Valiant and All Gamers, but even though it's not been updated with the finals, Super Valiant did take that 2-0. But we've got the two foreigner teams left with Pacific Macta and Golden 5, and they did impress us in some ways, but I think this will be a lot more evenly matched compared to what we've seen in the past games.
Yeah, I definitely expect this one to kind of go the distance and be a very close matchup. I mean, Pacific, they had so many things going right throughout the group stage. They started off strong, 3-1 in the groups, had a little shakiness towards the end, but they still closed out a spot in the semis. Unfortunately, they fell there, but still they look strong going into this third place matchup. Meanwhile, you have Golden 5, another team who showed some strong performances as well. Even though they took 3 losses in the group stage, they were all very, very close. They had 2 golden round losses and a 10-8 loss. So definitely a team that, you know, potentially could have even got a better seed in the playoffs had things slightly gone their way a bit further, but still they did struggle in that semifinal, rightfully so, though both Chinese teams playing incredibly in the semifinals. But now this is their chance to still walk away with that third place prize money and a little bit of pride.
Yeah, I think it's all down to pride here. As you may have mentioned before, you know, Super Valiant and All Gamers did manage to get it to the final with Super Valiant taking it. But now it's the battle of these two teams. With the third place taking this will get their $20,000, but sadly whoever comes out of this doesn't make anything. And as we see on this first map, Map 0 getting the first frag on the board.
Definitely a key way to start it off here for Pacific, getting that opening frag, having the nice momentum on their side to get boosted here. As we kick off this best of 3, it is going to be Pacific Macta on the global risk half here to kick things off on Ankara. Right now it's going to be Blame trying to find some vision in mid, sneaking up there. 7 and Creeds, though, going to team up with FaZe here over towards A-Long to potentially strike on the A-bomb site. Right now, though, it is going to be a 3-man stack coming out here for Pacific, so they could be walking right into this trap here. Blame, though, is going to try and lead the charge here through the vents. He's spotted, though. Revenge misses the shot just barely there. But now Blame's going to try and capitalize on this here, pushing through to lower A, finds some damage, but not the kill there. Pacific answer nicely, but FaZe and 7 right there to answer back as well. 7 finds himself the double kill, but still he's left alone in a 1v2 with just 23 health.
Yeah, it's not looking too good here. 7's done a great job in this round, but will he be able to stay alive? As Aldrin trying to push long A, but he's got another one behind him as well. It's a perfect setup here, and as you see there, Pacific Macta managed to get the first round on the board. It was slightly close. Revenge got the info, even though he didn't take one of the members of Golden 5 down in tunnels, but a great start from them.
And for Pacific, I've got to think this is probably their map choice here. They got put through the ringer twice against the Chinese teams on it, so they've got a lot of experience on it going into this match and should feel pretty comfortable on it. Meanwhile, though, Golden 5, a team we've seen a lot from as well. We'll see if they can amp it up a little bit here on their blacklist half. Very close first round there, but it's going to be Revenge getting the opening frag here for Pacific, and once again, they grab the early advantage here.
Yeah, Revenge at that first frag on the board. He took a few risks in the previous game, trying to go mid that first one, but he managed to pull it off in the end. And so far, Snox is on his own on long A, but nonetheless, at least he's got some more map control for Golden 5, but it's going to pull back a little bit, just trying to cause a little bit of distraction with the utility to see if anyone actually does any kind of early aggression, but FaZe now is trying to see if he can find anyone around that area. But Aldrin, looking at it, he's just waiting patiently, waiting for the 3 members. All the Golden 5 to push him out to C1, but gets taken down by Creeds there. As he is trying to look for another, just trying to bait some of these players out on Pacific Macta, but so far at least he managed to get that trade frag.
Now it's going to be up to ZDD all alone on the B bomb side, and it looks like that's where Golden 5 is going to try and take this one over to. He has to be very cautious here. Could get flanked potentially from Bridge as well. He has no support anywhere nearby. Pacific, they've gambled so hard on this A stack that Golden 5 may just have a wide opening here, but it's going to be the quick rotation into the global risk spawn that Pacific may catch them off guard with, but Seven and Snox, they catch it immediately. ZDD, the only one left to hold on. Only going to be one and done there. Now Revenge is left on a 1-on-3. Things are not looking good for Pacific in this round.
Yeah, Revenge is going to have to do some miracle work here in this 1v3 to see what he can do, but he's going to try and rotate to B to see what he can do. The bomb does go down, and it looks like the Golden 5 are in a very good spot there. He's trying to get his eyes on Creeds, but Creeds is not really giving him any information, knowing that there's a possibility Revenge will push from hotels, which he does do. But just trying to keep an eye on it, trying to check every angle to make sure it's a definitely a possibility. He's in a good spot here, but will Creeds be able to take him out? He does see him, he knows exactly he's there. They might try and go for that rotation, but it's already happened as FaZe managed to get the flank on, took him down, and it's equalized 1-1.
Definitely a good response here from Golden 5. The round looked a little bit shaky at the start, but they pull through and tie things up nicely here. FaZe now looking for the opening pick. It's actually going to be a nice smoke screen, though, to sort of stall him out here. He's going to have to back off. Right now, Golden 5 looking for that second round on the board. It's going to be Seven here grabbing the bomb. It looks like they're going to try and take this one over towards the A bomb site for a late execution here. Blame lining up some smoke. Snox just holding the push out. See if Pacific will get a little over aggressive here, but Pacific doing what they do best on their global risk side, playing this one nice and passive and trying to hold on to numbers.
Yeah, you saw ZYK there, he's just trying to see if he can get anyone through the smoke, but Golden 5 not giving him any opportunity as Snox does peek out a little bit to see what he can find. Matt Zero did peek out, but managed to pull back anyway. But still plenty of time left on the clock for them to decide exactly what they want to do. If they want to distract with some utility and make the rotate round, or just do a full-on push. As Aldrin's also just trying to wait around. But ZYK does throw a bit more utility down just to try and delay Golden 5 that bit further. But Blame is just trying to look for any aggression from Pacific Macta, but so far their discipline on the site has been next to none.
And we do see the 3-man stack still holding strong here for Pacific on this A bomb site. FaZe trying to sneak a pick here. Actually spots the shoulder of ZYK. Cannot connect on that shot, though. And they're going to be forced to back off here. Nice counter flash goes over the top. Seven going to sneak into connector here to try and support Blame on the mid push, but they have to be careful. Revenge playing safe here in the tower, watching all of these angles on the mid execution. Blame tries to sneak out. Not going to happen, though. Revenge with a quick flick takes him down, gets the double kill. Still holding on here. Snox trying to make something of this. Finally gets the kill there, but it's still going to be a 3-on-4.
Yeah, but damage has already been done, but at least Snox managed to get the trade-off anyway. A little bit late, but managed to get it in the end. He's going to try and go for a second, which won't happen at ZDD. He's just literally sitting there waiting for him. Managed to get a second on the board. And now Creeds is the last one left standing here. But he does have some site control, but the only problem is he hasn't got the bomb, so he needs to try and see what he can do here. But he hasn't got enough time. He's only got 15 seconds left. We need to play a little bit more too patiently. But now, see what he can do. I think he knows he's in too much trouble. There's not enough time left. May get a frag on the board on ZYK, but like I mentioned before, the damage has been done. Timer has run out. And that's a second round for Pacific Macta.
Yeah, unfortunately, the bomb just going down in a very difficult position for Creeds to try and retake it there. Pacific, though, with a nice early lead, but still time will tell who can pull through and win this first half. It's going to be Golden 5 now going over very quickly towards A-Long here, trying to get control, but some nice utility coming out from Pacific to try and slow them down with those smoke screens, and it's going to be Blame still holding the corner peek here to wait and see if someone will try and peek through that smoke, but Pacific, again, they love to play so passive here on their global risk half, not willing to take too many risks just yet here.
Yeah, it seems like they're more focused on trying to bait out any utility or just bait them out in general to make the first move, but both teams have been very well disciplined in that matter. But now, though, ZDD going 5-1 so far. He's had a great start, just sitting on the B side at the moment to find out exactly what is happening, but Hasn't found any info yet on what Golden 5 are up to. So, like you said, still a little bit of a slow start, so probably another 30 seconds until we actually get a little piece of the action.
Golden 5 trying to now rotate here over towards the B bomb site, but Pacific, their 3-man stack this time around is also going to be on the B bomb site, so they've read this quite well in this situation. Now they just have to hit the shots here, but Creed's looking to try an entry on this corner peak. He has to be careful. There's going to be players lurking very close by, but Snox ready to sneak in on the flank here as well. See if they can pull it off. 3 players very close. Aldrin, though, here's the misstep. Finds the opening here. FaZe stuck alone with that sniper in his hands. Has to be careful. Aldrin finds the double. Snox able to get one on the flank, though, but it's not going to be enough. ZDD trades it out, and it's going to be a 4-on-2.
Yeah, Aldrin gets his first frag on the board. Managed to get a double in the end, but Blame knows exactly where ZDD is, but just playing it patient anyway. ZYK managed to get one of his own. And in the end, as we see, Pacific Macta, another round for them. And it's looking pretty good so far.
Definitely a strong start coming out from Pacific, but it's to be expected on their global risks halves. They always seem just so much stronger on the defensive sides of these maps. Golden 5, though, it is a blacklist-sided map. They have to be careful not to give up too much in this first half, and they should be able to at least have a chance to come right back into it. Matt Zero, though, pushes up fence. Blame, though, finds the arch pick onto ZYK. Matt Zero, though, might eat the brunt of that nade, down to 18 HP. He has to be really careful here, but Revenge, he's going to hold things off nicely, but only able to get one. Matt Zero peeks out wide, gets one. He's taken down as well in the trade fire, though. It's going to be a 2-on-3 now as Aldrin tries to rotate in with ZDD.
And it's only Aldrin left standing here in a 1v3. I'm not really too sure what he can do now, as they are going to try and push into him. But FaZe knows exactly where he is. They've got the info they need. But can they actually take him down? A couple of missed shots there as you're trying to push through to long A to get him. But it's not going to happen as the Golden 5 managed to get another round on the board. And Blame, you know, is known as being one of the aim stars of the team. Managed to get those 2 frags to help open things up.
Things definitely starting to look a bit better here for the Golden 5 now. They do have the opportunity to tie this one up as well. It looks like they're going to go quickly here over towards A-Long once again, playing this early positioning here to try and get the opening pick. Last time around, though, Pacific, they gave so much ground and got a little too aggressive just pushing out of A-Long to try and get those opening picks, and it definitely backfired on them. ZYK going to be holding it down passive this time with Mad Zera on the A-bomb site. Snox, though, eager to try and sneak in here with Blame and potentially get an opening pick for his team. They have to be careful on A. ZYK, he's going to be watching both of these angles to try and not get caught off guard, but he's going to be Golden 5. All 5 players grouped up and ready to go here.
That's right, Snog trying to push the tunnel to see if he can find anyone. Hasn't found anyone yet, but he will do now, and Sally does get taken down. But Matt Zero does get traded off here, so ZYK is trying to hold him back as much as they can. And the question is, Golden 5 really need to push up now. This is an opportunity to try and get that bomb down before the rotation happens. But so far, ZYK been very patient. Creeds will get the bomb down in a 4v4 scenario, but as I say, that Revenge, those mans get one.
Revenge always on point with those tower picks on the retake, and now they have the man advantage to work with as well. Creed's extremely low on HP. This should be a winnable one, but FaZe gets the triple kill spray down out of nowhere. It's going to be a 1-on-3 now for Revenge. Things have completely turned in favor of Golden 5 here. Just 20 seconds on the clock. Revenge needs nothing short of a miracle to make this happen, but can't connect the shots here, and that's going to be it here. Big round for Golden 5, and FaZe coming up huge with that hold on the A-bomb site.
Yeah, that was literally, they must have lined up in a straight line. FaZe did such an incredible job. Managed to take down the side of Pacific Macta there. And what a way to turn things around. Definitely a momentum shift here. But look at this though, like they're trying to find out what exactly is going on. But Pacific Macta have a little bit of control here, but Matt Zero managed to start things off with that first frag on the board. Is looking for the second, but Snox managed to pull back a little bit. A couple of nades coming in, but of course, when we're doing too much damages, the members of Golden 5 have already pulled back. So nice early frag from them, but we'll have to see what Golden 5 can do from here.
It's going to be some slow movement over back towards B. The Pacific, great early stack coming out, sending 4 players aggressively outside of A, and now they're going to rotate back slowly to try and catch this late play over towards the B bomb site. Creeds, though, going to have to lead the charge here. Snox already extremely low, making this round exceedingly difficult for their team here to try and pull through with. Doesn't seem to matter for FaZe, though. He's ready to go in, guns blazing here, pistol out, ready to fight, but Aldrin playing a nice cheeky angle here on the back of sight.
Yeah, he did hear what happened earlier. He's heard the call out, tries to throw an A to see if he can kind of keeping back a little bit more due to the fact that there's so much time on the clock. But look at this, Creed's just slowly pushing in here to see if he can find anyone. But he hasn't found anyone yet, but I don't think anyone on Pacific Macta has actually realised. But look at this, all 4 members are slowly pushing in, and finally Aldrin managed to realise that they are pushed in, and Snox managed to get a double. We'll be looking for that third, but the rest of them haven't rotated enough, as EYK also gets taken down by Creeds. And now we've only got ZDD and Revenge left. Revenge gets 1, ZDD managed to get a second for the team. And now it's already gone down to a 2v2. 30 seconds left on the clock for the bomb, but Revenge managed to get another, so there's only 7 left standing. Missed some of his shots, and Revenge getting that 3K, considering that was a 2v4 scenario as well. What a comeback.
Definitely a big round from Revenge there, but such a key decision there at the end. He knew he wasn't wanting to challenge that last fight with the sniper, so he goes for the quick switch on the AK and makes the trade out guaranteed for his team to stay on top here. 4-3 now. Pacific still holding on to the lead, but Revenge getting more and more aggressive here, pushing up into mid this round. Unfortunately, Golden 5 not wanting to take that fight just yet, but as we can see, Golden 5, they seem a bit nervous here, very turtled up in their spawn to start this one off.
Yeah, after losing that 2v4 in the last round, they're a little bit more cautious on what needs to be done. And as we can see, still got plenty of time, still trying to waste some utility to try and enter onto the site. But it looks like they're going to go straight in. Kreese, I'm going to look around and see what he can find. Revenge hasn't found anyone yet on that B split, so he will be pulling back a little bit to see what he can do in case he does get pushed. But so far so good. It's still going to be a little bit slow, but it looks like a couple of members of Golden 5 are looking to see if anyone's made that push on A-Long, which hasn't happened yet.
Golden 5 slowly working their way now over towards A. ZYK using a bit of utility there to try and stall out with the smoke, but it's going to be 3 or 4 players now grouping up in the vents, and that's going to put all of the pressure onto Matt Zera in his positioning here. He has to come up big with some entry frags for his team. Spots Blame on the cross. A nice flash comes through. ZYK gets the opener here. Already down to a 5-on-4. Matt Zera, though, he still hasn't been spotted. Snox gets the opening, but Matt Zera, he's just hiding behind the box here, but he can't make anything of it. Snox, beautiful double kill to open up the site.
Yeah, Matt Zera could have a little bit better, but it doesn't matter. Snox managed to get 2 kills, and FaZe managed to trade off with another one. So now, Pacific Macta is going to take a little bit time from here, because it's going to be another 2v4 situation. They did it in the last round. Maybe do it again, but with the angles they got here, they've made it so it's a little bit more difficult, but we'll see what we can do. We saw what Revent did last time round with that 3K, but it's been flashed off a little bit. Aldrin managed to get 1 on the board, but the problem is FaZe has already traded him off. Creed's managed to finish the job and get that another round on the board. So tied up 4-2.
Now as we go into the final round of the half, a very crucial one for both of these teams. Golden 5 probably needing it a little bit more here, as this map does tend to favor the Blacklist side, so they're going to be wanting to hold on to this last one very carefully. Matt Zera, though, going for the A-Long peak. Revenge there for the support as well. ZDD comes in. They're going to be swinging on all these players A-Long, and it's just not going to connect on the shots. A nice nade, though, over the top. ZDD finds one on the Snox. Matt Zera gets the trade, and 7 very low. Finally gets taken down as well, and it's already down to a 2v4.
Creeds and Blame, the only 2 members left standing here. As they're going to do a little quick push through mid to see what they can do. The bomb is down, but Aldrin knows he's there. He's just waiting for the best opportunity to try and see if he can get any time luck on his side, but decided to pull back anyway as Revenge. Great shot from him. And then only Creed's left, just barely misses that second shot, but it doesn't matter anyway, as Matt Zera managed to get the cleanup. And as you saw there, 5-4, very close. And I think we said it from the beginning, but this could go all the way, not only with map 1, but throughout the whole series.
Yeah, and so far it's really looking like that may be the case here. Golden 5, a few simple mistakes cost them, though, some key rounds, losing that 2v4, and it felt like every time Pacific pushed out of A, they just didn't have the right answers there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, because that was definitely a momentum shift for them, but at least they managed to get that last round anyway. But I feel like, you know, we haven't done any OTs so far since we've been here, so this could be the first one, depending on the circumstances of how well Golden 5 do. But Pacific Macta, they seem a bit more consistent from what we've seen, and we've cast them a lot over the weekend. But again, it's not too much of a surprise. They had a good defense on sometimes, but with Golden 5, it did look pretty strong.
Yeah, they really did. And going into this second half, I think they're going to be feeling still pretty comfortable. Only one round down. They just have to have a solid defensive half now and try and bring this one back. And something we've always noticed with the side of Pacific as well, they tend to struggle a bit more on their blacklist halves. If they can't get that early momentum, they almost seem to stall back a little bit and have trouble on their late round execution. So if Golden 5 can keep them at bay earlier on in this half, they may still have a chance to win this one.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, some of the players to call out, FaZe did a great job his fragging, but ZDD was going like 6 and 7-1 at the start. I can't remember his overall KD in the end, but we definitely know it was actually a big in comparison to the rest of them, but we'll have to see what he can do on the other side. So we are going to get this second half underway, and we've got Aldrin now just looking to see if anyone was doing any early pushes on A long. And Revenge now just going to see if he can get any first picks there, but doesn't seem to be the case. But now we're trying to see if we can get any attention, but it doesn't seem to be the case at all.
Definitely a strong setup coming out here from Golden 5 to start off their defensive half. They're going to have FaZe and 7 all grouped up here towards this B-long push. Snox now in support as well. They're trying to set up a trap here to potentially bait them in to a B execution. Only one player on A, though. It's a huge gamble here in the opening round. If somehow Pacific read this and send their players over towards A, it's all going to be on Blame to try and hold off the execution.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's quite hard to execute that A site depending on the circumstances of Tunnel, but Blame, we know how good he is. I said it before, one of the AIM stars on that roster, but now, as you can see, sadly they are actually going A, so Pacific Macta are making the right play, they're making the right rotation round, but what can Blame do here? I feel like now, if he takes at least 2 down, then Golden 5 may be okay to hopefully get the retake, but we'll see what happens here as Matt Zera slowly pushes through Tunnel. Only 45 seconds left, and he's going to try and look around. The utility does go down. He's been flashed off a little bit, but he's going to be pushing up as a second. There's 2 members already on A. Creed is having a look around. He's been flashed off completely. Gets taken down, and Alden managed to get another one of his own. So we've only got 3 members left on the Golden 5, and the bomb goes down.
Here comes the retake, though. 7 already finding one. He knows the player's in the corner here as well. Gets the double kill. Aldrin goes down, and now it's going to be a 3v3. Very winnable round now for the side of Golden 5. 7 doing some amazing work here to try and open this one up, but it's still going to be 2 players close by. Going for the wide peek off the flash. They're completely trapped here. Revenge still able to hold on to this corner position. It's going to be ZDD finding 7. Matt Zera finds 1. And the trades come through in favor of Pacific. A close attempt there thanks to 7, but not enough to get it done.
Yeah, the problem was in that 3v3, there was no one flanking, all 3 of them were in the same position, and it's very difficult sitting in the circumstances. They had a great crossfire, so I felt like it was all in Golden 5's hands, and they managed to take him down there, and Pacific Macta managed to win that one. But now, what can they do here? Aldrin managed to keep Blame back just that little bit more, but it looks like the members of the Golden 5 are going to push back a little bit. Not going to have to do a deep push in A long. Aldrin is waiting around to see what he can find, but nothing yet.
And that's the key response here from Pacific that really separates them from Golden 5. The A-long execution came out from Golden 5, and Pacific, they just double flashed out of there and didn't lose any players, and that's exactly how you need to respond in that situation here. And now they have a chance to reestablish and re-execute and take control of this map. Right now, though, FaZe has control of A-long, so they definitely want to be careful of that positioning here. Could be a risk to try and go back and retake it, but FaZe has been so deadly in this matchup. If they give him a chance, might just be able to take this round into the hands of Golden 5, but Pacific, they still want to try and gamble this, it looks like.
Yeah, like you mentioned before, because Golden 5 have that A-long control, that's a hell of a lot of information for them to maybe make not just an early rotate, but maybe have more players set up around B. But ZYK is going to be pushing through to see if he can find anything. He does manage to find FaZe, but FaZe managed to take him down from Tunnel. Great reaction from him. And now we can see what they can do here.
It's going to be a pretty big mistake from ZYK. He had the opening on this shot. FaZe had his back turned as well watching A-long, and he just wasn't able to connect. Snox going to get caught off guard in mid, but Creed's there to trade things out nicely, keeping it in their favor. 4v2 now. Aldrin and ZDD trying to turn this one back around. Both of them with a nice HP advantage, though, on these players in mid, but it's still going to be too risky for ZDD to try and peek there. Aldrin already trying to sneak over towards this B bomb site, spots Creed's on the bridge, takes him down. And now they have an opening to work with.
Aldrin managed to make things a little bit easier there now in this 2v3. As you're going to push around slightly, but will he actually find? No, he doesn't. As 7 takes him down. Anyway, ZDD, the last man standing, managed to take FaZe down in the end, but now he's in a 1v2. He's not really too sure where both members are yet, but maybe they can give him an idea where 7 is. But the bomb does go down. But look at this, they've got some great position on him. Blade may be able to get the flank behind him if 7 keeps him distracted long enough, which doesn't matter anyway. Even when Blame came there, 7 managed to take him down in that aim duel. And that'll be the retake for Golden 5.
Now 6-5 on the board. Golden 5 starting to get their footing here a bit on this global risk half, but still Pacific, they hold on to a nice lead here, so they have to be careful. It's going to be down to this A-long control play. Pacific has to show that they can establish some more map control here if they really want to take away this matchup. Right now, Blame getting aggressive in mid. He's going to try and push out early and take control of the mid pit, just holding on to it to potentially catch these players off guard in the backside of mid. Right now, ZDD trying to push up here. The question is, will he check the positioning?
Yeah, the other question is, did Matt Zero actually see him? It was only a glimpse, but I don't think they're 100%. ZDD's got a slight rough idea, but he's worried about a flank from A-long, but I don't think he needs to worry about it too much yet. But he now knows Blame is actually there, giving away his position, but managed to get a nade, would get a little bit of damage done, not that much, but look at this, ZDD's already pushed through. Blame doesn't even realise and gets taken down. And now Matt Zero is going to try and push through there, but ZYK does see another member, but managed to pull away.
Golden 5 still with a man advantage here thanks to FaZe holding on to mid along with Snox there getting the trade on the ZDD. Now it's going to be a B execution coming out from Pacific here. No direct hold on the bomb site though, just FaZe holding the cross from the top of tower. We'll see if he can make it happen, but right now there's going to be a lot of pressure thrown his way. Can't get the cross pick as well. Aldrin sneaks through, but he gets the follow-up onto ZYK. FaZe trying to find another, but it's not going to happen. Aldrin takes him down, but it is going to be Snox finding one on the flank in Matt Zero. 1v3 now for Aldrin. Gets completely blinded by the flash. This should be the round for Golden 5. Aldrin only 20 health to work with, and it's not going to happen there. 7 swings in and takes him down, and now it's going to be all tied up.
This game has just gone back and forth, hasn't it? There's literally, neither team has managed to stabilise one way or another, and it's been a bit of a struggle. Doesn't matter what side or what half they're on. Both playing roughly the same here. And that's the other thing as well. It's like with both these teams, like they're not managed to be able to separate each other, but they've been changing things up enough. I'm just wondering who's going to download the other first. Like who's going to run out of answers or strategies going into the second half here?
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like we may have a potential disconnection issue here. Some of the players throwing their guns on the ground, usually a signal that something might be coming out in some form of a pause. But yeah, just looking at these teams so far, it's been so neck and neck. And honestly, for me, the biggest difference I've seen on Golden 5's half here is Blame really hasn't been able to be the high-impact player that he was in the opening half. It seems like he's going for a lot of gambly plays, pushing out A, pushing out mid, but not really being too cautious about it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. There's been some players have been very cost effective, he's been doing very, very well, and then sometimes it's been a bit of a blip, which is a bit weird. But one thing to take note as well, 7 was going 5-1, so it was a great start during that half. But there is a few difficulties right now, but as soon as everything's been fixed, we'll go straight back into that half. And I think it was tied 6-all, I believe.
Yes, 6-6 across the board. Kind of what we were expecting here, though. Just a neck-and-neck match, and it could go the full distance of 3 maps this entire way, with it being that close, really. I mean, both of these teams have shown that they can capitalize and learn what the other's doing and adapt quickly. I think it's just going to come down to who throws in the right curveballs at the right moment to catch the other team off guard and swing those important key rounds in their favor. So just looking at the defensive half so far, though, I think Golden 5, they're doing a great job of adapting, and if Blame can sort of fit into his role a bit more firmly, they could potentially take this first map away.
Yeah, they could. It's, could be a long night, not going to lie. We may miss getting back in a while, but yeah, that's what we want to see anyway. We knew this third place player will be a slobber knocker for both of these teams, and I don't think it will matter too much about map picks. If it does go to map 3, I really wouldn't be surprised. I mentioned it before in the previous matches, Pacific Macta, especially this event compared to previous events, they've been doing so well. The consistency has been there, but it's just against some of the Chinese teams, they didn't really fault too well. Don't want some decent results, but didn't manage to take any maps there. But Golden 5, again, a lot of potential in this team from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and just looking at this roster forming at the beginning of this season, it's two strong lineups sort of just coming together in Penta and Flipside, and they seem to have just sort of combined the best of both worlds in those lineups, and so far it's showing to be one of the stronger teams from the West that we've seen here. They're the only Western team to have made it into the semifinals, so that's already a big step forward for them. And just looking at the past of the European scene as well, I mean, this is a team in 2016, 2017, they were on top of their game. They just sort of fell off in the last year and weren't able to really establish anything, but now they seem to be getting stronger and stronger every match. I mean, when you look at their group stage, only having 10-8 as a loss for your worst match, that's not too bad considering the circumstances.
Yeah, definitely. You know, if someone said that to me 10-8, I'll be like, I'll take that. That's all right. You know, I'll be happy with that. But yeah, this Golden 5 roster, you know, it's definitely been very impressive. Quite a new team as well. And it must be worrying for the other squads in the future as well when they compete against them. Because if they're this good now, imagine like in a few months down the line or a year down the line.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the potential on this team, I think if they can continue to mold around each other and get a little bit more synergy, this roster could be very, very strong. Looking towards, you know, the potential World Finals here at the end of this year, this could be one of the stronger teams out of Europe and potentially in the whole world as well. I mean, they've shown already here that they've got the lineup. They just have to really just tweak the minor things so they can conquer teams such as, you know, AG and SV where they were close with but just struggled to close out those matches.
Yeah, you know, you said it before, like just now, the fact that like maybe at another event in December when they've had, you know, at least a good 5-6 months practice, you know, trying to get everything corrected, do some invitationals here and there, or some online cups just to, you know, kind of stabilise what they need to do and correct some things. But end of the day, after the lack of practice they've had and they're quite a new team, it's really worrying for the other teams watching this now, just due to the fact that they don't know what they could be. They could be an absolute powerhouse, not in their region, but just in the world.
Yeah, definitely, and I think just even looking at the results of the group stage here, it's going to be a lot of studying for these teams because it is so neck and neck going into future events. All of these teams just went back and forth with each other throughout the group stage. SV really the only clear front runner throughout this entire event. Everybody else just back and forth, and I think it's really going to be just looking at how these teams are going to adapt for future matches here because as we saw in the best of ones, anything could happen. But now in the best of threes, I think you're going to see that sort of consistency shine through on some of these rosters. And Pacific, their team, I think that's lacked that a little bit. In their best of ones, they looked a bit shaky on some of those matches. And even on their wins, they had a tad of trouble closing them out. But when we looked at Golden 5, even on their losses, they were still so close round after round. And I think this is a team that if they just iron out those issues, they could be one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, normally when you're seeing cleaner rounds from one side, you normally assume that it's just a matter of time. Like there's a possibility that the opponents are just delaying the inevitable. Like for example, if you get like a lot of the rounds on Pacific Macta where they win only by like one person left standing or two, and then you've got like Golden 5 with like, you know, some very clean rounds having 4 left standing, you can kind of get an idea of what could happen towards the end. And then afterwards you think to yourself, well, like I said before, it's just a matter of time until they do actually take that map. But so far I thought to myself, we'll see what Pacific Macta can do in the second half, but there's still no way either of these teams have actually stabilised, and it's just going back and forth. And that's what we want here.
Yeah, and I think the big difference between these two teams is when I look at a roster like Golden 5, I feel like they're almost relying too much on their raw aim. The strategy there, as you could see in the way both teams were sort of handling those A-long attacks, Golden 5 was a lot more jumbled up. They didn't have quite the response, whereas Pacific, they immediately fell off when they felt uncomfortable. They reset and they move on, whereas Golden 5, it seems like they just want to frag out in a lot of circumstances, and as we saw in some of their previous matchups, it doesn't always quite work out for them.
You know, we mentioned before as well with Blaze, like, you know, he's got very good aim, he's also very aggressive, but what changes do you feel like he needs to make? Because don't get me wrong, he's tried to be a little bit more aggressive, you know, the bigger the risk, the bigger reward, but completely makes sense. But do you think this is maybe not his map to kind of do that on? Do you reckon it's a different map he might be better on in terms of like, should reflect his skill?
I think it's more so the way they're being aggressive isn't necessarily synergized. You have players like Blame or Seven who will push out and try and do something on their own, but there's not a lot of follow-through from their teammates to support those plays. Had he had 1 or 2 people in key positions nearby to assist, a lot of those plays make way more sense and they have the trade potential to set up even if things do go wrong. But Blame, it felt like a lot of those situations, he was caught out alone and there wasn't a whole lot of reaction to go off of, but it looks like we are ready to hop back into the action here. 6-6. All tied up here on Ankara.
And as you can see, 7 going 10-1. We know that's incorrect, but the way he's been playing, I'm not too surprised there. As he is one of the shot callers on the team, but Seven's also impressed me due to the fact that, as you know, if you're an in-game leader or shot caller, you kind of sacrifice your fragging potential a little bit to help out with the rest of the team. But he's been doing both, so it's quite rare to see that.
It definitely is, and it looks like as we go back into things here, I think there's still going to be another pause. So it looks like we are still having some connection issues there. So it is going to be 6-6 still at the pause, and really anyone's set for the taking. But also, just looking ahead into the rest of these maps, I'm interested to see what may have been picked as we move forward. Like I said before, I think this one was probably the pick of Pacific, but I'm interested to see what Golden 5 may have to bring out as a pick of their own. I'm thinking potentially maybe something like Subbase would be a good wild card for them to throw in here. It's a map where Pacific in the past, they've looked sort of hit and miss on, but they always seem to want to play it. So I think that's a map where Golden 5 may have some opportunities to frag out because it's got a lot of close quarters angles. They don't have to worry about Revenge having all these utility lanes to snipe down, and I think that could play in their favor, just choosing a map where they can get those favorable aim duels that they seem to try and want and take.
You know what? We haven't had any sub-base yet this weekend. I think it's the only map we haven't covered. So, do you know what? I wouldn't mind that, and if it does go to map 3, I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see at least one sub-base in the pool. But, you know, we've had the Ankara already, but obviously that's still going to go ahead. But don't worry, we will be back into the game in a few minutes. Just a couple more issues that need to be fixed, and we will go back into the game. The current score, and it is map number 1, is currently 6-all. It has been going back and forth. No one's really kind of stood out from the pack or actually be able to stabilise yet. But once it's all said and done, once the difficulties have been solved, we'll make sure to go straight back into that map number 1. It did puzzle me a little bit when I saw 7 go 10-1. I was like, what? No, okay, that's fair enough. Because I think it was going 5-1 anyway before the reset.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to wait from them. But, you know, like I mentioned before, a player like 7, you know, RGL or shot caller, mentioned it before, where a lot of shot callers and IGLs in any game always have to sacrifice that fragging potential to help out with the team and try and get the info they require to kind of, you know, make those sacrifices pushes there. But, you know, he's been doing a bit of everything. And, you know, I'm really, really impressed because I'm not going to lie, it's not easy.
Yeah, it really isn't. And on the other side of things, too, looking at Pacific, we got to keep in mind for Matt Zera, this is his debut event. All of the other players on Pacific, they've got years upon years of experience, but really being thrown into this position has got to be a bit of a tough one for Matt Zera, and he's kind of held his own quite well against some of these very talented teams. So I'm interested to see how they may develop around him moving forward, as he's been kind of a key player in a lot of the rounds they've been winning here.
I think it was one of the matches we saw earlier in the first semi-final. Matt Zera, it was very hit and miss. Like sometimes he would do quite well. Sometimes there was times a little bit unaware. Maybe a bit of the audio cues he didn't really catch up on too quickly. Maybe it might be some miscommunication. And there's other times where Matt Zera's just absolutely been on fire and it's dominated. But like you said before, it is his first event, so that makes a bit of sense. You know, at least he gets some tournament experience in his belt. Then that way he can push on from there and be a bigger and better player. But, you know, other players as well. ZDD, he's been so good and so consistent. He hasn't really, you know, it's not that he's made any missed plays, but he hasn't really made too many mistakes from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, between him and ZYK, they've just been sort of the anchors for this team throughout, holding on, especially on the global risk half, making a lot of impact plays and just getting those initial early peaks. I think for Pacific to really pull this one off, we just need to see that same consistency pull in through a player like Aldrin. He's always sort of hit and miss on his performances. He has really strong global risk performances, but then on the blacklist side, he's always one of the weakest players on this Pacific lineup. I think if he can unlock some of his entry fragging potential that we saw earlier on in the group stage, he may have a chance to be the difference maker for his team here.
He is the sort of player in terms of Aldrin. He's basically the thorn in your shoe. Even if he doesn't do the damage or get the frags, he is very good at delaying, not delaying inevitable, but managed to delay the start half like as much as he can. So even though he doesn't get the damage done or may not get the frags, at least he's delaying it enough to help the rest of his team make the rotation. So one way or another, he is a bit of a pain in the backside, but of course that's good for his team.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. When you look at what he's been able to do throughout this tournament, even though he's been a bit hit and miss, he's come up with a lot of big plays for his team. But it looks like we are ready to go back into it here, guys. Once again, it is tied 6-6 here on map number 1. Still anything can go here. Any team can pull ahead. And Pacific, they're ready to start the reset with some nice aggression here over towards the A-bomb site. Already taking all 5 players for A-long control here. Aldrin ready to peek onto vents. But Golden 5, only 2 players holding it this time around.
We'll see what we can do. It's quite vital for FaZe to see if he can get that first frag on the board. But it doesn't matter anyway. As I said, ZDD managed to get one. Aldrin gets another, and there's one more member trying to drop down. It's crazy. Managed to get away with a double before getting traded off by Revenge. And now it's 3v2, 7. Knows exactly where they are, but they're waiting for a little peek to see what is going on there. But the bomb will go down, but this is just a couple of shots, sadly. And that is the bomb down. 7 will throw. In fact, we'll try and get away, but it's going to be the case. Man's get one, but gets traded by ZYK.
Snox, though, he did find the other remaining player on the flank, making this a nice 1v1 for himself to potentially walk away with. ZYK gets caught off guard. Snox takes the shot, and that's going to be a nice way to kick things off after the reset here. I'm not sure if maybe he's having some keyboard issues. It looks like he slid into the wall there, but he's still going to have enough time to pull off the defuse and win the round here for Golden 5. Nice way to kick it off after the reset. And just like that, Golden 5, they now find themselves on top 7-6, just 3 rounds away from taking map number 1.
I'm not going to lie, I would have felt so sorry for him if it had like 10 seconds left on the timer and he was still walking into the wall. But nonetheless, he had plenty of time anyway. So that's another round for Golden 5. And it's definitely going to be neck and neck. We have to see how Pacific Macta can actually answer.
Right now, it's going to be a little bit of A-long control coming out from both teams here. Nobody ready to challenge this one just yet. Golden 5, though, in the nice position on top, 7-6, so they don't have to do anything too risky to try and hold on to this one. Pacific, the pressure now on their shoulders to try and find this opening pick. ZYK trying to spot someone through the smoke here, but it's actually going to be another stack play over towards B. We saw Golden 5 run this towards the beginning of the map here as well. 4 players towards B, just the solo in Blame on A. It was their first round strategy of the half, and it actually paid off for them pretty well with some solid rotations, but right now, we'll see if he can do it once again. Blame this time around, though. Creed's nowhere nearby to rotate quickly. He has to hold this one in a solo 1v5 hold.
If I was Blame right now, I wouldn't be too excited here. I'd be a little bit worried. The entire team is coming, but at least he can call for the rotate now. He does pull back, and rightly so, as all of them are still trying to... Not too much of a fast push yet. I think Pacific Macta have been a little bit slow here. If they're a little bit quicker, then they could have already taken the site and Blame would have pulled back already. But they're trying to find any kind of info they can, but Blame knows exactly where Aldrin is. He managed to take him down. Great stuff from him. He is looking for that second, but just playing it very cautious here as they haven't got the bomb down. But now the rotation has already come in, and ZYK is just trying to see if they do manage to get the bomb down. And we'll see how they can try and get this retake.
ZYK in the key position here. He has to frag out, finds the first, gets the double kill, still looking for more here, pulls out the Colt but can't connect. Creed seals the deal with a nice double kill there, and it's going to be Golden 5 putting another round on the board here and moving one step closer to victory. 8-6, now just 2 rounds away from it.
Another retake, and it's another match as well with Pacific Macta just struggling during the last part of the second half, as it is 8-6 in favour of Golden 5. So utility just go down. Smoke will get lined up, but Snox just seeing what he can do here. He's already pushed up quite early on to take him off guard. But Blame did do that before earlier on, so Pacific Macta may actually expect someone to be down there already. But so far, ZYK is going to see what he can do here.
ZYK going to catch it, but still Blame is going to be able to trade that one out 1 for 1 here. Now making it a 4v4 to start off the round. Still, the 4v4 slightly will favor the Blacklist side here on the execution. Blame quickly going to rotate over towards the B bomb site. ZDD trying to get a pick on Bridge. That's going to be a nice counter smoke from 7 there to stall things out. Pacific now looking to rotate potentially back over towards this A bomb site. Revenge going to try and find a pick here to kick things off.
And Revenge now has gone back to long A, just to make sure no one's actually tried to push round or try and hold an angle. But he's perfectly safe right now. He can push in nicely, and Revenge made the call and basically said, Aldrin, Matzera, come in. It's perfectly fine. It's completely open here. But we need to see how they're going to execute this A site, as Revenge is going to make a slight peek in tunnel, but it will be greeted by Creed at some stage entering the site.
Creed's with a nice pop flash there. Again, playing for the rotation for his teammates. Just stalling the clock here to see if they'll push in for the execution. And it's actually going to be a triple flank here. This could be a huge read from Golden 5. Already the whole team flanking. Creed's just needs to stay alive a little bit longer, but it's not going to happen. Revenge takes him down, and now there's a chance they can control the global risk spawn and hold on to this site here. Revenge flicks back around, spots 7 on the flank. ZDD going into vents to try and stall this one out as well. Revenge finds himself another, finally goes down, but FaZe takes down ZDD as well, and now it's down to a 2v2, 30 seconds on the clock. They have to get in here quickly. Blame sneaking through the vents, but Aldrin holding the off angle under stairs, catches him off guard. It's going to be down to FaZe in the 1v2 here. FaZe swings wide, can't find the kill, finally secures it, gets the double kill, somehow pulls off the 1v2 just in time, and that is a huge round going the way of Golden 5. 5 to put it on map point.
Another retake as well. Third time in a row. That was definitely Pacific Macta's round to lose, and somehow, some way, Golden 5 still came out on top. And Pacific Macta must be demoralized from that, as FaZe did such a great job at the end, and also the first 2 kills, Revenge got to start things off. But now, Pacific Macta really need to step things up. They need to get 4 rounds on the bounce to try to take it to OT, but we're not too sure if it's going to happen, as they've basically been given the site a number of times and still can't stop the retake.
7 playing this one patiently. They're going to find a pick in mid. 7 already on the flank to B, but it's not going to matter. Creeds is taken down very quickly. 7 has to frag out here, but Aldrin takes him down with a nice headshot, already making it a 4-on-2 for the post-plant. Snox going to eat a lot of nade damage there, down to this 2v4, make it a 1v4. FaZe tries to make something happen, but it's just not enough here. Now 9-7. That's actually the first round on the board for Pacific since the reset here.
Only 2 more rounds. I do apologize. I meant 3 rounds on the bounce earlier. Pacific Macta has managed to make the start on the comeback. But how cautious are they going to be? They may be playing a little bit more cautious in comparison to before, but as I said, at Map 0, managed to take down Snox fair, as that's the start they exactly needed. But ZDD is cautiously looking around. Managed to see FaZe, but FaZe managed to get away there, as Pacific Macta managed to get a nice little start to this round.
And once again, we see the gamble stack, but this time there's no players on the A-bomb site. This could be a crucial mistake from Golden 5, but now Pacific, this is their chance to take this one into overtime. They're just 2 rounds away from making that happen, and now they have a wide open site for the taking to try and get another one on the board here. The rotations have to come in very quickly here. 4v5 on the retake for Golden 5, but as we've seen, their A retakes have been very solid here.
It makes me laugh as well, because Pacific Macta has actually done it very aggressively this time, but the one time they do it, there's nobody there. But in all fairness, what a time to do it. And now it's going to be a 4v5 retake for Golden 5. They've done it 3 times already this half. Can they do it again? At 7. They'll sneak round slowly to see if they can find anyone. But it doesn't matter anyway. Revenge managed to get the person long A. That's the flank down. But 7's just sitting there waiting openly. He's been flashed off. ZDD managed to take him down. Will he get another, as Blame does see Revenge, but Revenge managed to get another one on the board, as FaZe is the last one left standing. Finally gets taken down. And Pacific Macta, only 1 more round to tie things up.
A potential golden round situation on the table here. We'll see if it comes that way, but right now Pacific, they need this final round in order to make that happen. Golden 5 surely not wanting that to go down against them here. It's going to be Golden 5 playing this one extremely cautious. FaZe gets spotted in mid, cannot connect on that shot. ZDD, though, has to back off as well, unable to secure that exchange for Pacific. Still very passive play from Golden 5. They know how important this round truly is for them.
And rightly so. He managed to get a tiny bit of damage done without taking any himself. And ZYK and Aldrin is just clearing out long A to make sure no one's actually hiding round or see any kind of early aggression. But Aldrin is looking to push for that tunnel shortly, but literally double checking everything. If they lose this round, it is over from this map, and they do want to try and take it to OT, as Blame doing that peek, just double backing just to see if anyone is coming, but it doesn't look like that, as Pacific Macta looking to push that B side.
It's all down to the mid and B hold now for Golden 5. FaZe in one of the key positions here, has to try and get this entry as they burst out into mid. These B players as well, getting ready to be challenged in a 4-on-2 exchange. Snox going to be leading the charge on this one as well. Madzera ready to try and attack him, though, in his positioning. It's all down to the hold here from Golden 5. Snox, though, already spotted. A little bit of a misplay coming out from him. Has to try and answer back. ZYK already pushing onto ramp. Gets spotted, though. Blame finds one. Snox able to get some spray, but not the kill. 7 comes in for the support. Snox gonna try and hunt down Madzera here. Creed's on the rotation, takes down Aldrin. It's down to the 4-on-2. Madzera and Revenge, the last hope here to hold on to the map, but they are having so many issues trying to force their way in here. It's gonna be Revenge finding one. Madzera swings around a little bit too overzealous on the peak. He's taken down by Creed's. Revenge, the last hope on the map now, has to try and make it happen. Gets the quick deke spray down actually there. Now it's going to be a 2v1 here. Not going to matter though. FaZe secures the map 10-8. Big first map coming out from Golden 5.
Can you believe it? Like, you know, don't get me wrong, there was 3 members already of Golden 5 getting set out there waiting for the push, but I think they got a little bit confused with the information they received to try and get him caught off guard, which they did. Pacific Macta only needed 1 more round to take its OT, but Golden 5, they managed to survive and take that 10-8.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it came down to what we talked about during the break. I think they found a better position for Blame to play. They moved him into more of an anchor role and let Snox be the one to push forward. And as we saw, Snox definitely a bigger impact in that positioning and ultimately leading to a nice success story as well there. But the big thing I also noticed was Pacific having a lot of struggles on their post plants over at A. They were retook 3 times in a row, and even in situations where they seemed to have the numbers advantage, they just couldn't make it happen.
I think 2 out of 3 of those rounds, they definitely had the advantage, especially on the last retake. It was their round to lose. I was really surprised by that. But, you know, it's just one of those things. If it went on their favour, they could have actually won that 10-7 themselves over Golden 5. But it was just such a shame. I think a couple of things to point out is the fact that even one of the times when no one was there, I think that was the 4th time they actually pushed and actually won that. The aggression was perfect. But the fact that when there's only 1 on site and they could have taken him down, they were very, very slow. They were just so worried with the fact that maybe the 2nd time and the 3rd time Golden 5 actually got the retake, they were still quite passive trying to go for the site because they were feeling maybe Golden 5 will have 2 people on site, but they literally had 1 person on site every single time. It was either Blame or Creed just sitting there waiting and then to feed the info for the rotation. But Golden 5 didn't really change it up. You know, 3 times in a row they had 1 member on top A. And then you had the 4th round when they actually went for it again. They had no one on site.
Yeah, just a surprising setup to actually work in their favor so many times. I think it just came down to Pacific. Every time they executed on A, it was so slow. They gave time for these rotations to come through. And by the time they finally got the bomb down, there was already a full pinch on the bomb site. And Golden 5, they were just able to steamroll their way in and get a smooth retake there.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. 3 retakes in a row and they still managed to lose it. It was just such a shame. But Golden 5, they are the winners of map number 1. We will be going to map number 2 shortly in due course anyway. But that was a very long map 1. They took it all to the wire every single time. But it's quite rare you see that many retakes like that on the map.
Yeah, it really is. And it just goes to show you that on their defensive half, it was just a strong performance there to close things out. But we are going to take a quick break here, guys, and we will be back with map number 2 coming up shortly.